Recognize that tune? Of course you do. But did you know Auld Lang Syne hails from a poem by Scotland's favorite son and national poet, Robbie Burns? Or that this weekend, Scots and wannabe Scots all over the world will commemorate Burns's 267th birthday with haggis, neeps, tatties, and plenty of bagpiping music? We've got the Catamount Pipe Band with us today to share songs, lore, and talk about the deep roots of piping right here in Vermont. Hello, Vermont. Okay, so we thought about doing a cooking show and making haggis for Robbie Burns night, but let's face it, stuffed sheep's stomach isn't for everybody. Bagpipes, though, you don't have to have Celtic roots to want to dance when you hear a reel or to get choked up when a piper pays a lament. On top of that, Vermont happens to boast one of the best piping bands in the country, and two members are here with me today. We've got Ian McHarg, founder and pipe major of Vermont's very own Catamount Pipe Band, and Jackie Lewis, a founding member who calls herself the band mom, maker of kilts, and cracker of whips. Plus, they're bagpipes. So Jackie and Ian, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for providing music for the show. I mean, this is a total and complete treat. I feel a little bit like the queen at Balmoral. I get to wake up with bagpipe music. I'm sure you guys are really excited. We're in for a treat today. So let's get started. I have a question about like pipe sergeant, pipe major. What's with the military titles and things in a pipe band?
Well, the pipe band certainly had its start in the military scenario, and
because it was rousing music to kind of organize the soldiers,
for sure.
Or,
And just logistically, if you want to musically march people from one place to another, or get people excited about going to fight Rommel in Africa, you've got to have something inspiring, right?
You kind of want that sort of that shiver up your back, right? Okay.
So there are some vestiges of those military traditions within pipe banding.
Yeah, but there's lots of different pieces of music.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and really, logistically, we run it as a team, so we don't get too caught up in titles.
Benevolent dictatorship.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So as a major then, and you are the founder of the band.
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Right. And as a sergeant, then that kind of puts you as because you said you're an unofficial sergeant.
Yeah. I'm the unofficial. I just kind of fill in the gaps and fill in when Ian's doing things and the other pipe sergeant's actually running the band, and I'll pipe sergeant. And so yeah, we share responsibility.
In any organization, there's a lot of hats to wear.
There's a lot of hats to wear, yes, and I'm sure. And keeping a bunch of pipers organized when you are doing a piece of music, that's a lot of work. I have a question, because I have always wanted to know, how do bagpipes work? So, could you maybe kind of talk us through, like, how do you play it?
Sure. So it starts out where you blow in. This is the blow stick.
Okay.
So you inflate the bag with your breath. And as the bag inflates, you also squeeze at the same time. And the air comes out. Each of these are your three drones, and they have reeds inside. And so the air will flow out into the reeds, causing them to vibrate, causing the drone sound. And then when you have enough pressure, the chanter, which is where the melody comes out of, there's another reed in here, which is much louder, much different tone than the drones, to cut through them, and that creates the melody, and you move your fingers over the holes.
So is the drone that sort of constant sort of buzz noise that you hear? It's like a bass note.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So two tenors and a bass.
Two tenors and a bass. Okay. So is it considered a woodwind? Like what kind of it's considered a woodwind?
Yep.
See? Things that you did not know about bagpiping until you watched this. And Ian, you grew up with bagpipes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so my father's a bagpipe maker and has been
in Vermont.
In South Royalton.
Okay.
As long as I've been alive. He made both of these bagpipes. Okay. This set is a set of pipes that is a copy of a Donald McDonald bagpipe from 1806 that was found in Essex Junction, if you can imagine.
My gosh, that's
how it
amazing.
got in Essex Junction.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And so your dad, so he's turning wood. I know that there's like moose antler and things involved in making this. So these are really handmade instruments.
Absolutely. So
That's
Jackie's
incredible.
set
Yeah, he actually just made this set for me last fall because my usual bagpipe is a 1908 bagpipe, so it has elephant ivory on it, which was the light mounts, and you can't cross borders with it. So finally got
so for competition's sake, etc.
Yes.
In the course of world travel,
Well, right.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
when we go to the world,
Amazing, amazing.
We have to have something
Well,
different.
something I learned when we were putting this segment together, the bagpipe waits for no man. Basically, once it's tuned, it's time to play. So before we sat down together, we had you play a few songs for us. Auld Lang Syne, we opened with that because Robbie Burns wrote the poem. We'll talk some more about Burns Night in a minute. And then you played, I think the first piece was a march.
Yeah, Lock Inside.
Okay, and we're going to hear that now. So we want to tell us a tiny bit about it?
Well, Lock Inside was a gorgeous 3/4 retreat style march from the First World War era by John McClellan of Dunoon, I believe. And he, well, he passed away ages ago, but I think it was his anniversary just a little while ago when we were in Scotland.
Yeah,
Okay, you're in for a treat. You're going to love this, people. Let's take a listen. That was so beautiful.
Great.
And I feel like I can hear harmonies in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is that something, so are you harmonizing? Okay. And how many, so when you play together, obviously that was just two of you. When you play together, how many members of the band are there? How many pipers do you have? And it's not just pipers.
I'm deferring you to you because I don't know total.
I think this season, so we have within the organization, there are 2 bands, so there's a developmentally appropriate place for everyone to play.
Okay.
So new players come in, they play in the grade 5 band, and Jackie and I are playing and running the grade 4 band. So each band has, somewhere between 12 to 15 pipers.
Okay.
With a drum corps as well.
And then with a drum corps, because that's what rounds out the band.
Right.
So you've got
Snare drummers.
I'm gonna look at them. They're trying to mime what
Tenor
it is.
drummers.
Okay, all right. Is that
And,
this one?
and one bass drummer.
And one bass drummer. That's amazing. What's it like being in the band?
It's a really good time. It's a lot of hard work, but a lot of fun.
And you practice together in Montpelier?
Yeah, every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday?
Yep, at the high school, and then we do one big practice a month on the Saturday.
And individually and collectively, I know you've won some pretty prestigious honors. You have an individual award. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, actually, it's my second time this summer that I won the World Solo Amateur in Glasgow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how many women, for example, have taken that kind of honor?
I think maybe just a couple.
Yeah.
In my grade, I think there's only been a couple.
Not many.
Yeah.
And you said that's something that's special about the Catamount Pipe Band is you're almost 50% women? Unusual, yeah?
Yeah, in yesteryear, certainly pipe bands used to be sort of a lad-dominated sort of thing. And again, that's a bit of
Lad-dominated, right.
a vestige of military pipe
Right,
bands.
okay,
But
yep.
now that's changing, and Catamount enjoys almost completely equal membership.
Amazing. Okay, so for Burns Night this year, or I guess practically on the 24th, the night before, the band is hosting a Burns Night in Barrie. We've got info on it, including how to buy tickets on the screen now. Fair to say they'll be dancing?
Oh yeah.
Dancing is a big piece. So the second piece you played for us was a dance tune. You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, so that one is a reel that I had written ages ago.
You wrote it?
Yep. It's
Okay.
called The Big Apple Heist, and it's a story that's probably not appropriate for television.
Okay, all right. Well, but let's take a listen to it then. That was incredible. I don't know about you folks at home, but I definitely sort of was here in the studio while they were playing that, doing a little bit of dancing around. That's great. And if you loved that, be sure to check out Burns Night, brought to you by the Catamount Pipe Band and the Vermont Institute of Celtic Arts, something else that you run, Ian, right? In Barrie on January 24th at the Elks Lodge. I think I got all the pieces?
I think you did.
All right. Anything you want to tell us more about Burns Night?
Let's see. We're going to be playing bagpipes. There'll probably be some Gaelic songs. I think Sheila's going to play accordion and also some songs from the Lowlands.
Is there whiskey?
Probably.
Definitely.
I mean, there'll be whiskey. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, there'll be whiskey.
Definitely.
And Highland Dance Vermont is going to be there as well.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about, because you also are very involved with a lot of Celtic traditions in, like, for example, we were going to have you back this summer to talk more about the Highland Games, the Vermont Highland Games. Tell us a tiny bit, we only have about a minute, but tell a little bit more about the Celtic Institute.
A lot of times, I think, in cultural programs, folks practice their various disciplines not in unity, separate from one another. The pipers are doing their thing, the fiddlers are doing their thing, the dancers are dancing to recorded music. And we want to bring that all back together, right? So that because there's, as we talked about earlier, that camaraderie and that fun in the togetherness of it.
Incredible.
So fiddling, piping, Gaelic language, dance, the whole bit.
All the pieces. Amazing, and pretty incredible that this is all happening right here in Central Vermont. Yeah, love it. Well, Ian and Jackie, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for the music. Is there anything special that you say on Burns Night?
Long may your lum reek.
Yeah.
Say it. How do you say?
Lang may your lum reek.
Yeah.
Is that the whole phrase?
Long may your long. Okay, I'm going to butcher that one. So pretend I just said it. So thank you both. And as always, Vermont, thank you for learning and exploring with me today. And thanks to the team that makes Across the Fence possible. I'm Amy Finley. This is Across the Fence. Come back and let's learn and explore again tomorrow.